To Lost Line Interviews. My name is Alex Policio, and today I have the privilege of interviewing the star of Lost Line Studios' new hit film. You might know our guest from his other projects, such as Rika, Devil's Peak, and Blind River, and so much more. But today we are talking about his lead performance as Jay Schafer in 72 Hours. Mr. Brandon Lee Benton, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today. How you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I appreciate you having me.
Awesome. I appreciate you coming along. My first question, I'm just going to jump right into it. Since the film hasn't come out yet, and you are playing Jay Schafer, for those who don't know, how would you describe your character?
Jay's a very he's a very straightforward character, really. On the surface, he's a little complex underneath. He has difficulty emotional regulation. Very stern attitude, I guess you could say. Very disciplined. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. I mean, as an actor, I mean, there's a big process in going into doing a character like that. How would you describe your mindset going into someone who's pretty much in his way? He's like you said, he's very much like one way. What is your mindset as an actor going into that?
Well, really, um, I was just trying to read as much material as I could because as an actor, we don't want to act. We want to we don't want to react, but you want to react in a way that you are that person. Um, so I guess my process was trying to be as much a Schaefer as possible, um, and dig into the psyche of the character, his heritage, where he came from, what his home life was like, his love life, his occupation plays a big role in shaping his personality, along with his father and his family heritage, I guess you could say. So yeah, I just really wanted to tackle like the roots of his personality, and that's kind of how I approached it, I guess.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So throughout the process, like I feel like every actor has like a moment where like maybe some unsure, feeling a bit unsure about you are with the character. Was there a point when you were playing Jay where you just were like, oh, this is it. I've nailed him. I am now Jay. Was there a point in the filmmaking where you're like, oh, this is it?
When you're shooting a film in a certain amount of time, it takes it's sometimes it clicks sooner than others, and sometimes it takes a little bit longer. And I feel like even though Jay was as straightforward as he was on paper, it took me a little while to really get the idea of how to play him properly. And I feel like by the time I got to know him, we were wrapping the film. So I'd say, probably at the end of the film is whenever I really got to know him, and then I look back on it and I wish I could have done him a little bit more justice on my part. You know what I mean? I hope it's I hope it's good. As an act, I just as an actor, I hope my work is good, my portrayal, to do justice to the writers. But I personally feel like know him now, and I wish I could go back and like really put a little bit more into it. But it is what it is.
And I imagine it's like a great performance. Let's talk about at the beginning of the production. What was it about the script that attracted you to the project? Nick's wonderful script. What was it about it where you were reading it and you're saying, yeah, I can really see myself being a part of this?
It was very gritty, very mid 2000s Law and Order, I guess you could say. To me, anyway, that's how I portrayed it. And I always wanted to do something of that nature and that true crime drama kind of style, I guess you could say.
Sure. You just mentioned Law and Order, which is perfect for the next question I have. Is there any like fiction, whether it be books or movies, television, that you look to inspire your performance as Jay?
Um, Paul Avery, the character from the movie, the 2007 movie Zodiac,
Okay.
with Mark Ruffalo and Robert Downey Jr.
Hmm.
and Jake Gyllenhaal. I really liked. I'm a huge fan of that movie and old detective style films and stuff like that. So there's a little bit of wannabe Dick Tracy in there. Yeah. So that's kind of where I got the idea or what gave me the inspiration to like really want to play a character like that. And then the script popped up, so it worked out.
Was there any influence? I was looking at your character, and for some reason, I just couldn't get Matthew McConaughey's like character from like True Detective. Was there any like influence from that at all?
Honestly, not really. Um, if you've seen that, great, but not me personally.
No, no, no,
I mean,
yeah.
I love Matthew McConaughey. We both have a Southern accent.
There was just something about the sideburns, and I was like, the way that I was like looking at you, I was like, it feels like like a McConaughey to some extent.
Yeah.
So we were talking about fiction. Was there anything in your real life, whether not even necessarily your personal life, but like politically or just news wise, where that you pulled for this role, just because there's based on so much corruption in the script? Is there anything that you pulled from real life for your character?
I guess like I myself have problems with emotional regulation, and so I guess it was quite interesting to play a character that was very close, personality wise, to me, other than the discipline. Jay is all about discipline. I have the ADHD of a cat, so I will just do as I please and pretend there's no consequences. But definitely there are a lot of similarities in the character and myself, as far as thought processes, personality, things, and stuff like that. Yeah, I'd say.
I guess segueing onto that, if is there one attribute from Jay that you would take from take into your personal life from the film? Is there something that you admire about him that you'd want for yourself?
Discipline.
What
You
is
know, yeah, more discipline. He's a very disciplined guy. Uh, but he crumbles too. He finally shows a little bit under the stress and pressure of everything that happens throughout the film. Um, but yeah, I'd say the discipline part would be something that I definitely would like to have more of.
So after this long process, like what is something that you want the audience to take away? If there's one thing where you're like, they've got to leave the theater thinking this, whether about your character or the film in general, what do you want the audience to take away from it?
I'd hope that they would take away, well, good news about film, and what I love about film is that it's all open to interpretation. And I think that if I wanted them to take anything away from it, it would be that, um, whether it be a filmmaker, a writer, an actor, everyday person, that um, obstacles come and go in life. Um, you know, keep your family close, keep your enemies closer. Um, and on a filmmaker's perspective, that if you have an idea, you got the idea, and you can just get it on paper, it'll finish itself, and you can get it made. You know what I mean? And it's hard for me to like sit as a perspective from an outsider, because I do acting and directing and writing and everything, but that'd be my best. I like hopeful, wishful thinking, I guess, that they would take from it. It's just I just hope they have a good time. I hope they leave the theater and I say, that was a fun movie. That was it was a ride. It was a thrill. I like the story. I like the dialogue. I like the acting. Yada yada yada. Just a good experience. I hope to take away from. Let's see if I can find it. Might be. I think he messaged me on WhatsApp. Let me see. What's his name? Jason Berner.
Jason Berner. Oh yes, I know Jason.
Okay, yeah.
So, and we'll start.
Rudy McKay.
Sorry, what'd you say?
That's his character, right? Rudy McKay.
I would believe so.
Sure, it's Rudy McKay. All right, we'll go from there. We'll pick up. You can just ask again. I'm sorry.
No, that's cool. So whoever's editing here. So what about the character Rudy McKay or Jason Berner, who also played that character? What about it is that you loved so much about it, watching him perform on set?
Well, I don't think I've answered it yet. Remember, you asked me what actor that I.
Okay, we'll start. Yeah, so we're gonna start from there. So what actor or character on set did you find fascinating, whether you wanted to play them or something that you just like you loved watching them?
I was a really big fan of Jason Berner's character, Rudy McKay. He kind of plays like the villain, you know. Um, and he was, he had a year to prep. He was phenomenal. He knew his lines in and out. He wasn't acting as Rudy McKay, but he was being the character. Um, and that was inspiring to me as an actor. And I've been doing it 5 years, and I don't care what anybody says. It's just like, um, doing woodworking. You know what I mean? There's always going to be someone else that does something differently that blows your mind, and it's a little bit more efficient than the way you're doing it. So you can always learn. It's like life, basically. You're always learning and taking in stuff. And Jason did a really, really good job. Really good job. Like I was um, pretty floored actually at some of the scenes that they did that I got to see on the monitor for the playback. It was just phenomenal. So I would call out Jason Berner. He's one of the guys. Yeah, and of course Chris, he played Al Gianelli. He was a great guy, also really grounded actor. Good friend of mine, actually. Me and him got real close since filming and everything. So it's been cool. Great guy.
I've worked with Jason before. Jason adds so much passion to what he's doing. He's constantly trying his best to like give the best performance, and there's just so much energy in the way that he when he performs. That's a great answer. Thank you for all that detail. It's very very good. Since we're talking about people on set, let's talk about Shay for a second. CEO of Lost Lions and the director as well of this movie. How would you talk about your experience with Shay? How did you feel about him as a director on set?
Oh, Shay was, he definitely has a vision. He has an eye for it. He's present. He's grounded. Really down to earth. If you got ideas that you think the character might do, opposed to what the script says, and it makes sense, he lets us play. I
Mhm.
guess you could say. And so I'm just glad that he's as chill as he is. Really, he's not some uptight director. You think a director, you're like, oh gosh, don't look at him, don't look him in the eyes, don't talk to him. But no, he's real kind. He'll come up to you, he'll talk to you, he'll say hi, he'll ask how everything's going, what could be done differently, if the scene's just not working. He never got on to anybody. I guess you could say, like in a negative way, maybe a constructive way, but never anything negative. So it was a very pleasant experience.
So talking about constructive, was there a piece of advice or a note that Shay gave you where you felt like it helped the construction of your performance?
Mm-hmm.
If so, what would that be?
I'd say there's a particular scene in a bar that takes place, and I feel like he really shaped the vision for that scene, um, from micro adjustments to my expressions and like my body language, and it really made the scene uh, minute details, but it really made the scene fill out a lot better.
Yeah, Shay is very good at describing what he wants. Like you said he has a good vision of like a visionary director, as you say. He's very good at letting you know exactly what he wants. And egoless. It's a very chill like environment to be in. I've actually for a while I've watched the process of this you guys doing and getting into characters throughout the past. I think it's a year or two, and Shay's always been there, and he cares about the project. So I'm happy you had a great experience with him because honestly, for the directors I've worked with, it's one of the better ones. Like as you said with the set, it can get weird, but with Shay always makes you feel very comfortable. Um, and so in terms of your other castmates, right? Like I know you said you were friends with the actor who played Al Gianelli. What was your experience like with your romantic interest in the movie?
Well, she was a great actress. Um, she did justice to the character, and she brought a lot to the table. and I think that we had a pretty good chemistry between the two of us. It wasn't, it wasn't weird.
Mhm.
And sometimes when you're acting opposite of a love interest in a film, it could be a little tense, I guess, a little strange. You're just meeting this person for the first time, and you're supposed to shoot an intimate scene together, and within the hour. So, but she did great. She very professional. Um, got a lot of respect for her. Like I said, I think she really did justice to the character, and I'd love to. We've talked about it after filming that we'd love to shoot with each other again and do something, another project in the future. But yeah, nothing but good things. Like I said, she really did justice to the character, brought a lot to life in the story, and you know, played Jay's opposite very, very, very well. Yeah.
I mean, definitely. I'm personally excited to see this. I've been waiting years to finally see this final project. So like I can see from what I've read from the script that you play this character very well. I can see even all the photos I've been looking at. I'm like, oh, that's the sternness that Jay's definitely that I read on the page. So I can say from someone who's watching this whole time, people get cast and in and out and whatnot. I'm definitely excited to see your portrayal of this character. It's been a long time coming, and I'm just super stoked to see it. Um, Let me see if I have another question I can think of. I think that might be it for all that I have. Yeah, I think so. I think that's all that time that I have. Thank you again, Brandon, for taking the time to talk to me. I really appreciate it, especially in your busy schedule. And to everyone who's watching, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment to this channel and follow Lost Lion Media on all your socials. That way, that whenever we do update when the release date for the movie's coming out, you'll all be able to see it and see everything else that Lost Lion is going to produce further on. Thank you again, Brandon, for coming out.
Thank you so much. And yeah, like he said, like, subscribe, go watch the movie, and check out Eddington, check out Blind River. Um, just keep up with us, see what's going on, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me. Hopefully, we get to do this again sometime soon.
For sure. Awesome. Bye.